If you missed that, he did a 20-minute coaching session on me, and now we'll talk to him about the business side of coaching. So stay with us and hang in, and here we are with Bjorn Martinoff. Bjorn, so how does one go about finding a coach like you? Or you? How does one go about?
Yeah, just go to my websites.
No, I mean, yeah, besides your personal website. How does one go about? I mean, if a person needs a coach, where does he go? Does he go to Schumart, Rustans? Where does he go?
Good luck finding one there.
Okay. All right.
First of all, it's good to be aware that there's different kinds of coaches.
Okay.
You know, there's life coaches, there's spiritual coaches, there's executive coaches.
Date coaches?
There's even, relationship coaches.
Yeah, okay. Hitch.
Dating coaches.
Yeah.
I do that for some of my friends. But
Whoa,
that's
that must be fun.
pro bono work.
Okay. I'd like to sit in on that one.
One of my friends I mentioned earlier, I was helping him, and he's getting some very good results. But generally speaking, find out, look within and see what you really want to accomplish.
Okay.
And then there's coaches that work in different niches.
Yeah.
There's even acting coaches.
Right.
So and so forth.
So I Google for them.
You can Google for them, or ask around,
referrals,
or refer for referrals, or look at some websites.
How does he qualify himself as a coach to me? How do I know he's a coach? Any Tom, Dick, and Harry can stand up and say, "I'm coach." So
absolutely, a lot of people do that now. A lot of people that are in between jobs, or former HR people, or people who've taken one class and say, "Okay, now I'm a coach."
I'm coach. Okay.
However, what really classifies a coach to me is someone who's created some results for their clients, together with their clients.
What do I take to him? What do I say? I call him up and I say, "Hey, I need a coach for my hosting show." What do I say? I mean, when do I know that I need a coach? How and when will I know that I need a coach? Should I take up coaching because coaching is so much in fashion, or should I take up coaching when I discover a need to be coached?
Okay, so traditionally, at first, coaches were sought after because HR people thought there's some executives that, especially my niche in executive coaching, that need some help. Now, 10 years ago, that would have been the major work that we did. However, the work has transformed in a way that now coaching is no longer seen as a fix-it, or just a fix-it, but also as a prevention tool.
Not a fix-it tool, not a prevention tool.
No,
a prevention tool.
It could be also a prevention tool.
Not a growth tool.
It could be a growth tool.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be all these things. When you look at the East Coast, for example, in the U.S., in the East Coast, coaching is still pretty much viewed as is there something wrong with me? Do I need a coach?
Psychotherapist.
Well, it's almost like a psychotherapist, even though coaching really has nothing to do with psychology and therapy.
It has nothing to do with it.
Because psychology and therapy is mostly about the past.
Right.
Yeah, coaching is about the present and the future.
Fantastic. So what you just did with me, you didn't go into my past.
Yeah. Did you notice we didn't talk about your past?
Oh, you didn't ask me what school did I go to?
Or did your father spank you when you were 3?
Well, you didn't ask me all that.
I didn't ask you these things. Right?
Okay.
Why? It doesn't play a role.
So that's what makes it different from therapy, counseling, and coaching.
Yeah, as well as psychiatry. Psychiatry is about body chemistry. We don't talk about that. So it's a very powerful tool. We talk about the present and the future and how to achieve things.
Okay, and then so after I found a coach.
Did I answer your question?
I think you did.
Okay.
I mean, that's how you find it. After I find a coach, so I find, say, Will Smith to fulfill my needs as a coach. What do I tell him, man? How do I contract him? What do I tell him? How much will he charge me? Is that the first question? Is that a great question or is that a dumb question?
It's one question. It's
okay.
Eventually you're going to have to find out. Yeah.
Right.
But how do you know? Is you ask about the history. What kind of history has the coach had in terms of clients? Who has he worked with? What kind of cases has he worked on or she worked on? And see if there's some chemistry there between you and the coach.
Is that necessary? Chemistry?
Not 100%, but if it's negative chemistry, then I advise to stay away from that particular coach.
So I move around, I surf around the net, I surf around the globe, I talk to people, and I find you. And I say, Bjorn, I need coaching. You were referred to me as a coach, right? And we have a conversation, and of course money is part of it, and also scope of work and breadth of work and how much time the whole process will take. How much time does a process take? How much time would a coaching relationship or an engagement, what do you call it, engagement?
Engagement, yeah.
Engagement last?
Well, on average it lasts about 6 months to a year.
Wow.
6 months to a year. But it can be as short as one session. You know.
Wow.
I've coached one person, an executive. She was the owner of her company, and she, however, needed coaching on a personal relationship with her husband, and it was resolved in one session.
Right.
And it was a trial session, so I didn't charge for it.
Right.
And she walked away for free. So therefore, there you go. It can be as little as nothing for coaching, but it wouldn't be surprising. In Europe, they charge for a 4-month engagement 40,000 euros, which is a significant amount of money. You know.
But it must bring value to them, or it must mean something to them. It must do them something.
Yeah, and that's not even in the realm of things. That's not even the highest. Like my personal friend and mentor Anthony Robbins, he charges $1 million a year for coaching.
So
for one person.
Oh, I'm not that person, you know.
Not me neither.
Well, let's ask that question.
Okay.
Let's challenge that question. Why am I not that person? A great question, isn't it? We leave it for the next
Maybe
show.
because the enthusiasm, the energy is not there.
No, we leave it for
but
the
however,
next
I see it in your eyes now.
We'll leave it for the next show. Now, here's a question. No? A 1-hour coaching session and a 6-month engagement. Who decides that, hey, you need to be coached with me, or we need to go into this coaching engagement for just 2 days or for 2 years? Who makes that decision? Who makes that call?
Well, in the end, the client makes a decision. I make the suggestions.
Right.
It's and then we start off with different scenarios. We may start off with a diagnosis. We do some interviews.
Right. You employ some tools.
We have some tools, some assessments, some personality profiles.
Yeah.
May have a conversation with their boss. You know. Sometimes the boss who's the client, and then the person I'm coaching is the person I'm coaching. You know. It's like, so there's a three-way relationship.
Does that create a challenge for you that, say, my boss here, the producer or the owner of the show says, my host there needs some coaching. So do I need to be agreeable to be coached?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what if he commands me to be coached? Should I accept that command? Is there kind of a conflict in the...
My invitation is to make coaching not a command, but an invitation. It's like, here's something that's available to you. It's an opportunity. It's going to support you, and I invite you to take this on.
So there has to be a certain amount of personal, one-on-one agreement rather than somebody being assigned to be coached.
Yes. And in the end, coaching is about empowerment.
Right.
To know if your coaching has worked is, do you feel more empowered afterwards than before? Then you know your coaching session has had an impact. So if you feel lower than before, then your coaching session didn't have a good impact on you.
Oh, if you don't feel that great, then it didn't have impact.
Yeah, but if you feel less great than before, you started the coaching session.
So in that case, do I get a refund on my time and my investment, or that's bye-bye?
Then you may want to look for a different coach.
You may want to look for a different. You go to a different barber. You say, hey, fix that hairstyle.
Yeah, if you don't like the hairstyle, you use a different salon.
Okay,
next time.
now how many kinds of coaching, Bjorn? How many kinds of coaching, and what's been your most wonderful turnaround experience? Because you're the turnaround agent, you're the turnaround guy, so you help individuals and maybe groups of people to make the turnaround. What's been your most exciting experience in the last X number of years?
Well, I'm very inspired by Manny Pacquiao, right?
Oh, that's the story.
And I always say, if one person can do it, we can all do it.
Yeah.
So I was coaching a Philippine executive team a couple years ago.
Which is the sports?
No, it's a team of executives.
Okay.
It's a multinational company. Yeah. It's very well known. It was a one business unit, and it's a Swiss-based company. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And they were having some trouble over the course of 5 years, where their market share was declining 5 years in a row. And the business head came to me and said, I want to create a breakthrough with my team.
Right. How big was the team?
It was about 150 people.
And how long did the engagement last?
It lasted 9 months.
Oh, okay.
And he said at the end of this engagement, I'd like to have a breakthrough such that instead of declining this year, we want to get to zero. But that's already 5% higher than last year.
Oh, they were running in the red.
They were running in the red 5 years in a row, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so we started with them, and we engaged them when we have a technology that has several elements, you know, in terms of training, coaching, and involving them into some real projects that create some real results in terms and hard dollars as well. So they ended up running this program, and after a few months, they're already getting suspicious. The results are too good. Somebody cheating? Yeah. And at the end, they realized, oh, we've grown 34%.
So the only measure after a coaching engagement, whether a 2-day or a 6-month, is what the client tells you or what he feels. Do you have any specific tools to measure, like you have diagnostic tools? Do you have assessment tools? Do you have measurement tools post the coaching engagement?
Yeah, the measure will largely depend on what is the client looking to gain, right? And so we'll measure against that. Yeah, if he's looking to have his team gain in confidence, we'll do a formal and informal assessments. Yeah? If he wants his team be more effective in terms of their sales, we'll measure that. And the results, of course, is the amount of sales they create, right? And that's very visible. It's very visible.
Fantastic.
It turned out they even though what we did for them was not exactly inexpensive, they still earn 60 times more than what they spend on us. You know, it's not unusual to get 10 times more out of results like ROI from coaching. It's not very unusual.
Expanded horizon. Expanded
horizon. So you should always gain more than what you spend.
Bjorn, you've been in the Philippines now almost 10 years. You work with lots of Filipino executives. No? What does the Filipino executive market need from where you are? As a coach who's been so successful, what does the leadership, the business leadership, not the political leadership, need today from your perspective, from your point of view, from where you sit and watch the world?
From what I can see, from where I am, you know, I'm working with very, very successful executives, including very, very successful Filipino executives. Many of them are deployed all over the world, and they're fantastic individuals. Yeah. The key need I see is when you go down lower in levels in the organization, is that what's missing is confidence.
Even though they're the C level. Yeah.
Yes, but not those people I'm working with directly, but the level below. Yeah. And so knowing how to do this, how to bring out the naturally present high levels of IQ that the Filipinos have. And I have a theory why the IQ is so high, and that is because here in the Philippines, people grow up with multiple languages.
That's why.
So the brain development is challenged to a great extent at a very young age. You know, when people just learn to talk. And so the brain is very active at a young age, and that's why I believe Filipinos have very high IQ.
Great. Bjorn, we are going to come to a close to this show. We have 60 seconds left. Now, I want to ask you this question. Bjorn, what will make you bigger? From a ranking of 0 to 10, what do you need to fulfill within yourself as a world's #1 executive coach? What's the room for growth for you?
For me, that's exactly the crossroads I'm at right now, and the question I'm asking myself is, what's next for me? Because if you had asked me 10 years ago, what I wanted, I would describe the life I have today. You know, that's what and it was like a castle in the sky, and there was.
And you're here.
I am here today, right? And so what's next? To me, it's bringing this to greater amounts of people, these possibilities.
Would you need a coach?
Would I need a coach? Are you offering?
No, I don't know.
Because I know you're also a coach.
No, maybe I can recommend another one. A lady called Vicky Martinoff.
You're talking about my wife. You know, even coaches need coaches.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a coach, and that's why, you know, you look at the world's greatest players like Tiger Woods. Why does someone like that have 3 coaches? Why? Simply because he wants to stay on top.
They want to go beyond their horizon.
At first it got him to the top, and now he wants to stay on top. You know, but so many people go through their life saying, what do I need a coach for? Is there something wrong with me? You know, there's nothing wrong with you. You just want to bring out all your potential, every single bit of it.
Bjorn, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been a great pleasure. It was fun, and
you
I learned a lot.
I love you.
You rock too, man. So let's change the world. Yeah, you change the world in your way, and I build my own.
We'll do that.
So thank you for being on the show, ladies and gentlemen. That was Bjorn Martinoff, executive coach in the Philippines. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Stay with us, and next week we'll have an Englishman by the name of Paul Holm, who's an actor and a businessman. So Christmas is coming by. Here's an advance Merry Christmas and mabuhay and good night.